What an incredible start to an already incredible new year. I mean, we're just 6 days into 2026, and look at what's already happened. Tim Walz, the former Democrat VP nominee, is officially politically dead. He's the first victim from the fallout of the Somali fraud. That's just the beginning. Federal investigators are already indicating that the fraud is so deep, it's so pervasive, that it's going to end up implicating virtually all blue states and all blue state governors, most especially grease monkey Gavin Newsom. So Walz is just the harbinger. Many more political scalps are yet to come. Then, of course, you got Maduro, the freaking president of Venezuela, arrested in an absolutely astonishing military operation without a single American casualty. And literally overnight, China's been cut off from one of their major international oil suppliers. We got the Iranian regime on the brink like never before, with the Ayatollah reportedly planning on fleeing to Moscow like Assad did when Assyria fell. We've got the Wisconsin judge, Hannah Dugan, who's convicted last month on a federal felony charge for helping an illegal migrant evade federal agents. She just resigned. She's no longer a judge. She's the first rogue judge that we've finally gotten rid of. The Dow just hit a new record high of 48,900, and we're not even a week into the new year. And now, to make the beginning of the new year even sweeter, as of January 3rd, North Carolina's State Board of Elections has affirmed that the Tar Heel state has officially flipped red. For the first time in the state's history, registered Republicans now outnumber registered Democrats. It's been an absolutely dramatic shift. Since December, I mean, barely a week ago, the Republicans saw another net gain of 3,000 registered voters, surpassing the Democrat total voter registration for the first time in the state's history. There are now 2,315,000 registered Republicans as compared to 2,312,000 Democrats. So that latest surge in voter registration over the last several days has put the GOP over the Democrats by just over 2,000 voters, making North Carolina officially a red state. Now, as I said, this has been a dramatic shift in voter registration. Keep in mind, Democrats outnumbered Republicans by over 175,000 just 5 years ago in North Carolina. Think about that. 175,000 voter registration advantage wiped out since 2021. If this were reverse, if this were happening, the Republicans and Democrats were crushing it, you know this would be front page headline news all over CNN, MSNBC. North Carolina has never had a Republican voter registration advantage. You know, it's an old school Democrat state. And in fairness, an inordinate amount of Democrats historically vote Republican in North Carolina. They just never got around to switching their party affiliation. But because of that persistent Democrat voter registration advantage, a number of rather prominent Democrats have been able to win the state, right? You'll remember Senator John Edwards, right? He was touted as the next Bill Clinton before he politically imploded. Or their current governor, Josh Stein. He's a Democrat. His name's being floated as a possible contender in 2028. Yeah, good luck. Not in this Democrat party. Their former governor, Roy Cooper, he's running for Senate this year as a Democrat. North Carolina, of course, went for Barack Obama in 2008. So the Democrats have had a lot of success exploiting their historic voter registration advantage over the years in North Carolina. But it looks as if that's finally come to a decisive end. And that's because if you've been following this channel for some time now, and if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. But you'll know that perhaps the single most accurate predictor for election outcomes is voter registration trends. Voter registration trends signal not only how people are about to vote, but also, signal not only how many people are about to vote, but also how they're going to vote. In that it's very rare for someone to intentionally register for a party only to turn around and vote for the other party merely weeks or months later. And so this is why the New York Times recently sounded the alarm in a rather panicked piece that described what they called the Democrats' voter registration crisis. And that term crisis is not hyperbole. In all 30 states where voter registration is tracked by party, so some states you register, but they don't list out what your party is. About 30 states do. 30 states track registration trends by party. In all those 30 states, the Democrats are hemorrhaging voters. Every one of those states. The Republicans are winning the voter registration wars in every single one of those 30 states. We're looking at a catastrophic collapse for the Democrats that amounts to over 2.1 million registered Democrats abandoning their party, while Republicans have gained nationally now 2.4 million new voters in that same time period. So that's a net swing of 4.5 million voters, the largest political realignment in modern American history. And so the Republicans are in the process of slowly but surely flipping a number of states from blue to red. And it's happening in places really you'd never expect. And the key here is that, as the Times pointed out, this isn't just some minor statistical shift. This is a complete political revolution that's rewriting the electoral map before our very eyes. Take, for example, Nevada. Now, just a couple of months back, for the first time since 2007, in nearly 20 years, Republicans officially overtook Democrats in total voter registrations in the Silver State. Now, back then, when it was first reported several months back, the GOP led the Democrats by over 2,000 voter registrations. Since that time, that lead has more than doubled. It's now over 5,000. And again, to make it even sweeter, Nevada consistently votes 4 points to the right of their voter registration the last several presidential elections. So this is how Trump was able to win Nevada back in November, even though the Democrats had a slight voter registration advantage. And now it just looks really as if they've completely solidified that red state advantage, just as North Carolina has. And there's one blue state in particular, a very key state to Republican presidential victories, that is now on the verge of flipping completely red. And if that happens, it is officially game over for the Democrats. They will be permanently boxed out of executive power for the foreseeable future. Going to absolutely love this. But first, gang, I just read a report that Americans are outliving their retirement savings, leaving more and more people in a doomed position. And that's because their retirement has been set up the same as before, using the old default strategies that frankly haven't changed since the 70s. This is great for financial advisors and retirement companies, but often leaves your life savings positioned poorly. Companies like BlackRock and Vanguard keep getting bigger while your retirement struggles to keep pace with rising expenses. But it doesn't have to be that way. My great friends over at Augusta Precious Metals have put together an important report tailored just to you, my audience. Many of you have over $50,000 in your IRA, your 401k, or your TSP, which means you need to get your hands on this concise but powerful 2-minute report about how to take full control of your financial future. Go to turleygold.com. That's turleygold.com, or text Turley to 35052 to get instant access to this free report. In it, you'll learn the one step you can take that'll open the doors to a modern way to protect and grow your retirement. I'm going to use the same strategies the wealthy use to protect their portfolios. Even companies like BlackRock and Vanguard use these exact strategies themselves, but they're certainly not sharing them with their clients. Well, now you can start taking advantage of them as well. If you have over $50,000 in your retirement accounts, you need to contact my friends at Augusta Precious Metals by visiting turleygold.com. That's again, turleygold.com, or text Turley to 35052. That's 35052. Your future self will thank you. Our good friend Seth Keshel, one of the single most accurate election forecasters out there, is absolutely spot on, county by county, state by state in 2024. He's been watching the voter registration trends very, very carefully in the keystone state of Pennsylvania, and the report is absolutely devastating for the Democrats. Seth's investigation into voter registration trends in all 67 counties has found that the Keystone State is marching rapidly to the right. Over the last few months, Philadelphia County and Allegheny County have gotten redder, as did the key bellwether counties of Erie and Northampton. Now, I don't know if you know this, but when you analyze Pennsylvania and how it's going to vote as a state as a whole, the two key counties that determine how the state is going to vote are Erie and Northampton. For whatever reason, they're just two bellwether counties that consistently, accurately predict how the state votes. In other words, he who wins Erie and Northampton wins Pennsylvania. The counties are almost a perfect microcosm of the state as a whole demographically, and both counties right now as we speak are going red. They are going way to the right. It's very similar to what's happening in Duval County in northern Florida. Duval County, that's what Jacksonville, the city of Jacksonville is. Duval County consistently, accurately predicts who's going to win their neighboring state of Georgia. So Duval County seems to be a perfect microcosm of Georgia with very similar demographics. It's about 30% black. The rest is white and Latino. And so for whatever reasons, where Duval County goes, Georgia goes. That's been the pattern for presidential elections going back decades. Biden won Duval by 2 points in 2020, and he barely won Georgia by 2 points, right? Same thing in 2024. Trump won both Duval and Georgia. Well, you'll be glad to hear that Duval has been shifting way to the right in terms of voter registrations of late. Duval is significantly more Republican in voter registration today than it has ever been at any other time in its history, which signals that Georgia, which does not register voters by party, it signals that Georgia is turning red as well. But circling back to Pennsylvania, get this. This will blow your mind. Since November of 2024, since Kamala lost the Keystone State, the Democrats have lost over 40% of their voter registration advantage. 40% in just over a year. I mean, the pattern has been unmistakable. The number of Democrats changing their registration to Republican outnumbers Republicans going Democrat by a factor of 3 to 1. 3 times as many Democrats are switching to the GOP than the other way around. So at this point, the Democrats will never win Pennsylvania again in a presidential contest. And without Pennsylvania, they're permanently locked out of power. They can't win 270 without the Keystone State. But again, what's so key here is that this is the pattern we're seeing literally everywhere. In all 30 states that register voters by party, the Republicans are crushing the Democrats. The Democrats are literally hemorrhaging voters, which means that 2026 may indeed be the year of the Republican. Again, it's still early. I get it. And it's obvious it would never, ever, any point are we to be complacent here. And anything can happen between now and the midterms. But if voter registration trends are any indicator, and they just so happen to be the most accurate of all indicators, the Democrats appear to be going the way of the dodo bird. As far as I'm concerned, they can't go that way fast enough. Every Thursday, I go off script, literally, in the car, in a hotel, on my porch, wherever I am. It's Turley Walks, raw, unfiltered insight exclusive to my Courageous Patriot Club members. Join now for $10 a month, turley.pub/club.